Hello, hello. It is Brian, your handy dandy realtor here in the city of Windsor. I will be doing the week update. I didn't do one last week. I just fell behind because it's been such a crazy busy week. Have just a lot of different things on the go. I do have a new listing coming up. It will be a beautifully fully renovated 3 bedroom, new kitchen, new bath, honking new bath, wired, wired, wired. All of the modern conveniences of technology all throughout the house. 2-car garage, massive oversized 2-car garage, a mechanic's dream garage, if you will, and just a stunningly beautiful house coming up. Its road will limit its ability to be able to get above 500. So I'm thinking it settles out somewhere around that 450 mark. So if you know anybody with 450, 456, it's kind of where it's going to be. The other thing I got going on is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in LaSalle. It's coming up. Got some meetings on that as well too. Thought I actually had it sold. The thing that's special about it is that it's on commercial land in LaSalle. Commercial land is exceptionally difficult to find in LaSalle. So this house can be added onto, converted in any way to be able to be its own commercial space, or it can just be a house again and waiting for a bigger check to come by. What I mean by that is that that house as well too is probably worth somewhere between 475 and 500 because it's an exceptionally rare commercial space in LaSalle. You don't find them. And I believe that it's a commercial buyer probably for that than what it is a house buyer for that. However, we'll see what's going to happen with that as well too. I haven't got it listed yet. It's still a quiet deal, and the owner would actually prefer a quiet deal. So if you know anybody looking for a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house in LaSalle, it's kind of in a busy spot because it's commercial zoned, but it would be a good property as well too. And then just the normal things going on. I've got a lawyer that I'm working with now that I'm doing all of their estate work now, and she asked me the other day, she said, would you go to Brampton? And I had said, hey, would it help a family here in Windsor? And she said, yeah, they're clients of ours that live here in Essex. And I said, then absolutely yes. I've got, I can always go and rent a trailer if I had to. I could always go and borrow a trailer. I got a buddy of mine that has a trailer. I'm going to be out at their shop with my new shop tomorrow. That's going to be the next part of this video as well too. And so I said, sure, of course I'd go to Brampton. I'd help this family out. It's a whole estate settlement thing with a house that needs to be sold. The house has been sitting there vacant. The 2 kids are kind of fighting a little bit about it, but that's what the estate settlement business is all about too, is being able to help those families get closure so that they can move on. The whole goal that I have for the parents who are not here any longer is to try to maintain the relationship between the kids so that there's something that stays after mom and dad pass. But that's on the 2 adult, in this case, the 2 adult children. But it's on the case of all of the adult children to keep their relationships going after their parents pass away. The parent is the centralized link there. The other thing that is news as well too is I have my my 3rd location, if you want to call it that, from the die-cast business that is up and running, was placed last weekend. I'm going to be back out to OSA out at County Road 42 and Myers Towing Town Line, where they're expanding into that compound there, and had asked me to take some space, so I took a 20 by 20 space there, and have some of my die cast out there now. And then tomorrow I'm going to go out and clean the space and put some more die cast there. And all of that is new with the third location. I don't think I'll get any more than 3 locations. I think that this is going to be more than plenty enough for me. You never know what is the next thing that could come up. But we'll see about all of that as well too. It's just like this commercial property in LaSalle. I was thinking about buying it just for my company, just because I could open up a real estate office there as well too, and it would be a great spot for a real estate office as well. But I'm just not ready to go and drop $500,000 into a commercial space. Just not ready to do that yet. And the question also becomes, do I even need that commercial space? If I was going to take a commercial space, maybe I take the space that I'm already in on Moy and Ottawa Street, because that will be available as well too next year. Not sure exactly. So we'll see how all of that stuff plays out. So those are the big things that are going on with me. Just a little bit of a check-in for the week ahead. I have Adam from Media Duo, who is doing a 1-page spread in Rafi Style magazine, just because they had a cancellation and they needed me to step in. So I said, sure, I'll help you guys out by stepping in. So you're going to see that ad in Rafi Style. That ad is going to announce my 2% and my 20% and my 10% program. And then the Pride Festival, of course, is coming up too. So I am sponsoring a page in there. It's a tough sponsorship to trust. All of the militarization, I think is a word, I'm not sure, in the community is just hard to swallow. But I believe it still to be a place that I should be supporting with a little bit of ad spend. So I'm going to be there. I'm having a hard time with that one this year. It'll probably be the last time I take a space there, unless there's some changes in that demographic and that movement. To be a little bit less militant as well. It's just one of those weird things going on in our society right now, and I'm having a very, very hard time with it. But the other things, let's see, I'm working with the not Make-A-Wish Foundation, but the Disabled Kids Foundation. They've got a hockey tournament coming up in January. They called me today, and I'm probably going to do some sponsorship there. It sounds like a great opportunity to be able to help, and for all the right reasons, and to be able to have a sponsorship interest in their event coming up in Essex in January, in front of about 5,000 people as well too. And it's really kind of centered right in the county as well too. So those are some of the things that are going on, some of the different ad spend things that Adam over at Media Duo is working on for me. It's nice to have him there. And then I'm also developing some mail out cards as well too to other realtors with Real. As Real grows, as you know, Real is the fastest growing brokerage in all of Canada. So as they grow, Adam is putting together some mail out cards for me. I'm going to be going to the national convention, and I want to be able to meet some new people while I'm there. That's the whole reason for going to a national convention, is to learn new things, and to be able to network and build some new relationships. The last thing that you should also be caught up to date with is I was thinking about getting my U.S. U.S. and Canadian designation around divorce, the Certified Divorce and Real Estate designation. However, when talking with that organization out of the United States, they're a little bit concerned because their education program is built around the U.S. system, and the Canadian system for divorce is completely different. They only have one CDRE in Canada. She's up in Toronto. I talked to her. And she pointed out that she's really just done it herself, because the Canadian system is so much different than what the U.S. system is as far as divorce and selling houses and things. So I talked to that designation provider, and they pointed out the same thing. They're like, we're just finding it's not a place for us to be. And so we're going to turn down a Canadian for now. I could, of course, open up my own U.S. offices, not a problem there, and get the designation. But I'm going to add some different designations on. I'll turn a gear or two and do a couple of more designations before the year is up, and just kind of change that around a little bit. Actually, it'll save me a little bit of money as well, too, a little bit more money to be able to put into the disabled children stuff in January. So that's all good. That's kind of an update for where business is at this week. It's been a very, very crazy busy week. And I still have some paperwork to have to do. Those that are watching this, the update that I have for those that are watching this on Ford, it looks like the tenants are moving. I was just there the other day, not at the house, but at a house 2 doors, 3 doors down that's for sale. And it did look like they were in the process of moving, packing up, all of that stuff. So it looks like that's all on track, which is all good news for us as well, too, for our closing date in September. The other deal that I had that was going to close at the end of July, I had to get that renegotiated. Let's touch on that just quickly. So one of the reasons that I give buyers a 10% cut of my commission is that I always find that there's always, every transaction, whether it's a buying transaction or a selling transaction, there's always a couple dollars that need to be spent here and there to be able to get the transaction done. So in this particular case, working with this 85-year-old young lady, she was buying a condo, a townhome condo, Ambassador Estates. And so I needed to order up a status certificate that costs $100, so I paid for that. It's just a natural thing. Why wouldn't a realtor pay for that? We're going to need it anyway. Why not pay for it? That way I can control it and get it done that much faster. Then the other thing, too, is that she had chosen a July 31st closing date, but that didn't line up with her house sale, which is August 31st. And so then she asked me to negotiate to get them to change their closing date to August 31st. That means that that seller has to carry their property for an extra month. And when it's a condo, there's a $330 condo fee, there's utility fees, the condo's paid off, so there's no interest fees or anything like that. But there's property taxes and there's ancillary costs to hold a vacant property for an extra month. So they were technically being damaged by about $1,100, what we did the math for, the listing realtor and I. And so in order to get the extension signed, I wrote a check for $1,100 and attached that to the extension, asking them please sign. And of course they did then, because it's like, hey, the realtor is making this good. And whenever I do that, everybody always asks, who in the hell is this realtor? They're using their own money because there's damage here that the client damaged us with. And then it's really easy for that seller to sign that amendment to extend because they realize this realtor gets it, this realtor understands it. And so at the end of the day, then all I had to do was have my buyer client sign a waiver stating that they're not going to get any money back from me, that I've used that money to be able to keep this deal on the train tracks. And that's not a problem. The way they appreciate, Brian, wow, you've spent that $1,100 for us. We really appreciate that because you've been able to take care of this whole transaction and nurse it through all of its stages. So now it's on track to close at the end of August. So looks like in September I'll get 2 checks again. That's the only challenge with this real estate business, is that you never know where your checks are coming from or how far away they are. But as you become a more successful realtor then and have transactions, you don't have to worry that much about the cash flow because the cash flow comes. It comes in time. And then the company or the business has money sitting inside of it. But that's also part of the reason for having my house paid off. That way I don't have to have the stresses of having a mortgage payment and wondering where money comes from and checks come from. So the real estate business is holding its own. The appraisal business the phone is ringing with those lawyers. We'll see how all of that all plays out as we head into the summer months here. Summer months, of course, I do take some traveling time. July 10th, I'm planning on going away camping for a few days. And we usually just sneak away for a few days because there's so much going on that I need to get back for and to manage when you own businesses as well too. We're going to go up and pick up our fifth wheel and camp for a few days and then bring that fifth wheel back to Windsor with us as well too. Not sure exactly where I'm going to be parking that at yet. Got to figure that out. For tomorrow, train is coming in town to the casino. Don't know if you've got tickets for it or not. We've got tickets. The neighbor across the street was happy to give us some tickets. I've been helping a friend of theirs who's got some cancer things going on. And it's one of those fun examples of giver's gain. I've been giving them some things to be able to help their friend. And they like, Brian, we've not ever met anyone like you. And yes, all of our family members want to go see Train, but you've been helping our friend. And we want to say thank you for that by giving you tickets to Train. I don't know what a train is, have no clue. Gonna find out tomorrow night, but that's one of the things that's going on here. Woohoo, excited to go see Train tomorrow night. So I might have a completely different video for you after a while. But that's kind of a little bit of an update about what's going on here in the week that has been. And I'll get that market update done because it has been a little bit of time. We'll see what's going on. The market, my initial feeling is that the market is doing a little bit slower now. I think the last interest rate increase had a little bit of a harder impact than the other interest rate increases. And we'll see when I look at the data sets after the market closes here today and the real estate board goes home. I'll do all of my printing and all that stuff and an analysis of the data. But I'm thinking that our market is a little touch slower. There has been several houses this week that have sold. There was just a townhome right here behind me, stunningly beautiful, been fully rebuilt. And it sold with 7 offers in a day and a half. So for the right properties, they're drawing a lot of activity. And there was another property also that went off this week with 21 offers. And several others, but other offers, I think it was Wednesday, there were 2 houses that should have had multiples and only had 1 offer each. But they still sold over bid because the seller and the market value of a house is different than what the asking price of a house is or the marketing price of a house. One on Elrose sold for $425, and the other one, I forget what road it was on. The one on Elrose was pretty nice. It's just Elrose is kind of a rough road in Riverside. And it still did very well at $425. So if you have some questions about real estate here in the city of Windsor, don't hesitate to give me a call. Any questions around estate settlement, mom passed away, Brian, what do I do? Give me a jingle, 519-995-6145, 519-995-6145. Go out and enjoy the day. I'm going to go back to work. Have a good day. Bye-bye.